Hello, this is part 2. Part 1, I made a background out of circles and I cut them apart. So I cut the sheet apart and I've got 4 backgrounds. So now I'm going to make them into cards. And I've chosen my brown paper bag that I've mounted on just scrap paper. So that way it's thicker. It's about as thick as cardstock now. So that's what I want to use. So first thing I need to do is trim this down because I trimmed this the exact size of a card front and I don't want it to be that size. So, because I want it to be 5 1/4 by 4. All right, so 4 inches. We'll have to cut off that side, and then 5 1/4 right there. All right, there. So that'll fit better. And I'm going to do the same thing with this. 5 1/4 there by 4 there. Okay, and again 5 1/4 by 4. Perfect. And one more. 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, that's going to cut off a lot of those edges that I put on. This will be better. Okay. Cut this side. There. All right. Yep, that was easier. Okay, so, oh, and I needed to cut these down. So these sheets need to be trimmed down too. Alrighty. So I need the 4 1/8. 4 1/8 or 4 1/4. I'll do 4 1/8. Okay. 4 1/8 by 5 1/8. Did I do that right? No, I did not do that right. It's too short. It should have been longer. All right, I did that one wrong. So 4 1/4. Let me make sure this edge is straight because I cut on. Trim that one down. Okay. Trim that one. All right, now I need 4 1/8 because I cut these at 4. Okay, I cut these at 5 1/4, so I need these at 5 1/2 or 5 3/4. No, yeah. Nope, right past. So that's 5 3/8, I think, because it's the right before the 5 1/2. Yeah, so this should fit. All right, wow, that's a perfect snug fit. So do I want it thinner? I kind of like it like that. All right, I'm going to leave that for now because I do like that. All right, so I need it just under 5 1/2. All right, so about right there. And then I need to trim these edges so that they're all straight. Okay, 4 inches, 4 1/4, right there. Okay. And then it's still right before that. Yes. Okay, so that should still be the same. Nope. How did I manage that? I'm having a hard time cutting today. All right, 5. Oh, because, oh, Barbara, you goofy girl. Okay, there. Now that should be the same. Yes. All right. Let's go ahead and make sure this is straight. And can I cut that 4 1/4? Is that side straight? It looks like it to me. All right, and then right there, Barbara. Okay, and that is still straight. It looks straight to me. Okay, very good. Perfect. Now I just need one more piece of this. All right. I used a whole brown paper bag the other day because I just had so much of it. So 4 1/4. And right before the 5 1/2. Alrighty. 4 1/4. Is that straight? No, not really. Okay, now it is. Is this edge straight? It is now. All right. So we should have them cut thin enough Alrighty, the brown scraps can go in with the brown scrap container. Alrighty. Guess those could go on the inside of the card, or I could use these. I'll probably use these instead. The colored ones, that'll be pretty. Alright, let me put this in my brown bag. Brown right there. Okay, so we'll move these out of the way for now. And I want 4 cards. 1, 2. Oops, did I use all those? Yes, I did. All right, I've got 2. Oh, that's going to fit perfect on there. And with this. Oh, yes. That's sharp. I'm thinking I might want to trim that down a little bit more. All right, this one will go on here. All right, I think I do want to trim this down a little bit more. All right, so let's see what side. This side would be easier, I believe. Come on, roller, stay up there. So 4, just the line right before 4. Yeah. There. And then the line, get off of there. So this is at 5 3/4. All right, let's do this. Oh, this one wasn't even cut the same size. Silly me. Okay, so that should be better. Yep, that's better. Okay. So now I want to check this one and make sure. Yeah, okay, so I do want to trim this down. So I want to do this one, because I want to go at 5 1/2. The other one was up there, so about 5 1/4. All right, so trim a little bit more off, and then right under 4 inches. All right, so I think that did it. Okay, perfect. All righty, so now I need 2 more ivory cards, and my ivory paper is right here. Is that right or ivory? That is white. Okay. White. Is this white? No, that's ivory, I think. Come on. Yes. All right, good. Perfect. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and we need 2 more cards so we can do this. Put this paper up on the shelf. 5 1/2. And there we go. Then we can move this. And we can fold these over. Perfect. All right. All these little skinny doodads. Let's get them out of my way. All these little bits and pieces. Otherwise, I stare at them. All right. So these 2 are perfect. So I just need to glue those. These 2 I need to trim down a wee bit more too. All right. So let's do that. So right now. All right, that is 5 1/4, so that's good. And this is a little bit bigger, so I want to make this one right underneath the 4. All right, right there, or on the other side. Nope, right here. Okay, perfect. So that should fit. Yes. All right, so there's another one. And this one should be 3 7/8. And is that 5 1/4? Yes, it is. All right, so that's better. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Do you ever think gory thoughts when you're cutting paper? Meaning, whenever I'm sitting here doing this and I'm holding this up to here, that I've watched way too many scary movies in my life. I'm picturing this coming down and chopping my hand off. My parents loved scary movies, and every weekend we would watch scary movies. And I used to be so scared, and my sister would be so scared, and I would say, yes, you can come sleep with me. Oh my goodness, it was awful. And we'd go to the drive-ins, and they would say, okay, because there was always a kid movie first, and then there was a scary movie for the adults. I was like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do with all this? We used to love to watch it, but it was really scary. And all 6 of us kids would be laying in the way back of the station wagon with our blankets and eating popcorn, watching these scary movies. And sometimes we'd take our blankets out and just lay on the ground. Yep. That was always fun to go to the drive-in. Between that and going to Grandma's house every summer. Oh my goodness, we used to love to go to Grandma's every summer. There. And this really cool lady from church, Marie Adams, oh my goodness, she was just amazing with her knowledge. I think I've talked about her before. She was the librarian at Conn College for years until she died. But she knew where all the berries were, because she used to go berry picking, and she had 6 kids, and she made everything homemade. So she knew where to go. So Mom would go with her so that she would learn where the berries are, and then she would start taking us kids out. Oh my goodness. It was so much fun going and collecting all those berries and bringing them home and making yummy jam or syrup. Oh, the syrup was so yummy. These are looking really pretty. I'm impressed. That's nice. Oh my goodness, I got my bill from I wanted to pay, ever since COVID, then my doctor's office no longer takes payments in the office. You have to send your payments in to some collection agency, and they send out the bills. So, and it's like, all right, so they send out the bills, and then you can either, they want you to go online to pay the bills, which is fine, but I don't go online to pay bills. I'd rather just pay it. So I'm being very stubborn. So I called, and there was a 1-800 number that you could call to make your payment. So I called the 1-800 number to make my payment, and it asked me for my account number, which I gave it to them. And they asked for my name and my birth date, which I gave them. And then they said, this account, the account number that you entered, because I had to enter it on the phone, doesn't match with the patient name. And it's like, how can it not? That's my patient number. That's the number that you gave me to use with my name at my address, and it didn't work. So I tried a couple times, it didn't work, and I just thought, forget it. So then of course I forgot about it. And then I got another bill for the same amount the next month, and I thought, oh man, I got to try this again. And so I went on and I checked with the last one to see if it was the same number, and it was. And I thought, all right, well, hopefully they fixed whatever the glitch is. So I went on, and I still couldn't pay it. I was furious. And so I called the office, and I said, all right, look, this is what's happening. And she said, well, you'll just have to pay it the next time you come in. And so I said, all right, well, when is that? She said it was like in 2 months. And it was like, I'm going to end up being put in collection then. I don't want to wait that long. Can I just come in and just pay it? And she said, well, we're not supposed to take the payments unless you're in the office now, having an appointment. And it's like, that is the most anal thing I've ever heard. Have you ever heard anything like that? That's just ridiculous. And so I said, all right then, change my appointment. And so I said, it doesn't matter who I see. So she did change my appointment, and she changed it for the following Monday, which was a lot better than 2 months farther than that. And I was able to go in and pay it. So now they're finally taking the payments in, but you can't just show up to make a payment. You have to be in there for a visit. That's just stupid. All right, these came out really pretty. I really do like how they came out. All right, so what are we going to put on them now? My first thought, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Looks like a bunch of planets, doesn't it? A spaceship would be fun. I don't have a spaceship, though. That's really cool. All righty, so let's see. I must have some type of image or word. Let's do a word. I don't want to take too much with it because it is really pretty. Let's see. Ooh, or I could put a butterfly, a golden butterfly. I wonder if we'd be able to see it, though. That's an interesting thought. And I've got blue butterflies, too. Hang on. That doesn't match as nicely, though. The gold. Oh, that's right. I've got these pink ones, too. That's way too much. Actually, that would match if I backed it with the same brown. And the blue would be the same thing. All right, I'm going to do the blue then. Let's do that. Why not? All right, that's a good idea. So let's go ahead and mount this right on brown paper. So I need that brown paper back. Brown, brown, brown. Alrighty, we don't need the little pieces, we need a bigger piece. Alrighty, I'm gonna put these back in the brown envelope. Alrighty, so let's see, we need 4, or at least 2 to get started. Alright, let's do this one. These are so, so pretty. Will that fit this way and give me room? Yes, it will. Alrighty, that definitely gives me room to trim around it. That's what I was hoping for. Well, this one, yes, it will. Perfect. That's going to be nice. All right. Do I want to? Yeah, let's do a set of them. Why not? That'll be pretty. Let's do this big moth. He's kind of funky looking. All righty. We'll put him here. And then this other one. Then we'll be done with this sheet. Ta-da! Perfect. All right. Then I can trim that. I can put this back with the butterflies right there. That can go in the garbage. All righty. And then we can cut this out. All righty. This can go in scraps. And now I can trim these out. Alrighty, now I'm going to use these scissors to trim them out. Alrighty, and this shouldn't take too long. I just want to leave a brown trim around them because then that makes it match the card. If I had done a black layer instead of brown, then I would do black behind. And if you watch how I'm doing this, I'm holding my right hand still with the scissors. I'm just squeezing up and down, but I'm not doing this. I'm turning the paper with my left hand. And that's the best way to fussy cut is to turn that paper with your left hand. Or right hand if you're right-handed, cutting with your left. Very nice. Oh yes, that's perfect. Okay, I like that. Isn't that pretty? That's perfect. All right, let's check out this one. This is going to be so fun. scalloped edge on the whole thing. So if you did your doctor's office do that? Stop taking billing, stop taking the payments. I know quite a few of us, there's a couple of my friends, we all go to the same doctor's office and they've complained about the same thing. And they don't even have, they're older, so they don't even have a computer at home. They have their cell phone, which they even hate to use. But trying to force these poor elderly people to go online and look things up. And I mean, I'm okay most times, but there are times when I really honestly have no patience for any type of mechanical things or computer stuff or car problems. Everything else, I have plenty of patience. So, but computer stuff, I'd rather kind of avoid that too, if I'm being honest. I do it, but everything's changed so much. I used to really like the old DOS system when that was out, because you just learn the codes and you learn how to maneuver around, and it was really fascinating. If you understood what you were doing and why you were doing it, then it was pretty easy. I know, I'm showing my age now, huh? I'll be 60 in August. I'm actually excited. August 2023. I will be 60 years old on August 10th. And that's funny. I know 4 people that have the same birthday as me. And 3 of us are turning 60. I think that's pretty cool. And one is older. My sister-in-law is funny. She's a year older than I am, and I used to tease her every year. On my birthday, I'd say, "Oh," and she'd say, "How you doing? You okay?" And you know, and you're not letting your birthday age bother you, right? And it's like, nope. All I have to do is think you're a year older. And I smile, and she just laughs. She's like, "Oh, Barbie, you're crazy." It's like, yep. We grew up together. We were best friends in high school. And when we were 12, she said she's going to marry my brother, my oldest brother, and she did. Oh, they were madly in love. He used to write love notes to her and write songs on the toilet paper when he was in the bathroom. 8 people in the darn family, and all 6 of us kids had to use the upstairs bathroom, and Mom and Dad had their own bathroom. And it was like he'd go in there, and I was always wondering, what the heck is taking him so long? And that's why. He was writing love notes and love stories to his sweetheart. And it was funny because I was her best friend, so I would tell her about it. And I would say, he wrote another song for you. It's so cute. That, and I used to love walking by the bathroom and watching him. He'd be in there flexing his muscles. It was so funny. Just to admire his big old ball muscle. And I'd say, "Wow, big muscle." And he'd go, "Get out of here, Barbie, leave me alone." He was admiring his own muscles. But I figure if I was a boy, I would too. Why not? Boys are made so differently than us. These are really pretty together. I like them. All right, so now we've got to 3D these babies up. And let's do that. Whoops, wrong way. Turn it around the other way. Okay, yes, let's use some of this up. This will be perfect. As a matter of fact, we could probably use all of these. Yeah. All right, so we need one. I cut it that way. Yes, that will work. Alrighty. And this one, maybe if I cut it this way. Yep. That should work. Yes. Alrighty. This one, I could do a long skinny one. Yep. And this one. That's a little long, but that'll fit right there. Okay, and then this one. That looks perfect. And that does too. All right, perfect. Just gotta glue these babies down. Alrighty, we can do this. So first, let's put glue on here. Slippery, slidey glue. Ooh, my stomach's gurgling. What time is it? Oh, good heavens. 2 hours past lunchtime. No wonder why. All right, so now I can press this down. There. Okay, so now while that's drying, we can do another one. Down that little body. Alrighty, we're gonna do the same thing right there. Okay, then let's do this one. Let's do these ones the opposite way. That's really pretty. All right, and one more. Those are really cool looking. I'm impressed. What a fun, neat background. So when you have scraps, if you can cut some circles, they make a fantastic background, don't they? So is this something you think you'll try your hand at? That is really pretty. All right, I like that. So let me bring them up closer so you can see. Isn't that pretty? With that brown trim going around the card and that butterfly, and that makes a match. These are really cool butterflies. And they're actually wall stickers. All right, so there you go. There's 4 cards made with butterflies. And I think I'll just leave them blank for now because I might give these as a gift. I probably will because they came out really nifty looking. So I hope you do like this idea and you'll give it a try. And until we meet again, happy crafting. Bye-bye.